Let's go.
Good afternoon, everyone. If I could get everybody's attention, I'd like to actually start the BCC meeting. So I'm going to, guys, I'm calling this meeting, the BCC meeting to order. It is 2:15. Can I please get a roll call?
Yes, Madam Chair. Commissioner Rudy Garcia. Here. Commissioner Henry Roybal.
Here.
Commissioner Hank Hughes.
Here.
Commissioner Anna Hansen,
She is here. She'll be in chambers momentarily.
right back. And Chair Anna Hamilton.
I am here. Thank you. So we have a quorum. I'd like to move on to the Pledge of Allegiance and the State Pledge, and then we'll have our moment of reflection. So if we could all rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag, the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol, perfect friendship among united cultures. And I'd like to invite Lisa Katnack to do the moment of reflection.
Let's take a moment to focus on the work ahead of us today, being ever mindful of our decisions and in the best interest of our community.
Thank you. And then I'd also like to go to Commissioner Garcia.
Madam Chair, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Just for an individual that actually raised me off of Airport Road in a single-wide home, that just a moment of silence for my grandma. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Commissioner Roybal, I'm sorry.
I just want to ask for a moment of silence for Memorial Day. We just had that, a couple of days ago, and we had, time to really reflect and remember loved ones that have passed away and that we may have lost during tragically during wars. I had a friend. His name was Marine Lance Corporal Jonathan Grant, and he was about 24 years old when he passed away in the battlefield, actually, in Iraq. So I just wanted to recognize him and just ask for a moment of silence, and also just pray for peace to his family now that they are here, and just honoring all of our fallen soldiers. And also I wanted to ask for a moment of silence for the people that's in Mora and the people that have been really affected by the fires. Thank you.
Commissioner Hansen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I would also like to remember the people who we lost in Uvalde, Texas, because of senseless gun violence, and we pray that we have a Congress that will move forward with appropriate gun laws. Thank you.
Thank you. That takes us to approval of the agenda. Manager Schaefer, are there notes?
Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners. The initial agenda was posted on Tuesday, May 24th, and an amended agenda was posted on Friday, May 27th at approximately 4:52 p.m. Miscellaneous action item 6A, the Complete Streets resolution. There were updated packet material uploaded to board docs. Action item 6D, which is the community solar ordinance and resolution. The caption was updated, as well as the packet material. 6E, which is the solid waste ordinance amendment. Packet material was updated for that item as well. Presentation 7B concerning the transfer of development rights program. That packet material was updated. Under matters from the county attorney, item 11A2 was added to the agenda. And then finally, with regard to item 12A, which is the public hearing relative to the closure of certain Santa Fe County trails, the packet material for that item was updated.
Excellent, thank you so much. So what is the pleasure of the board?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Hanson.
I move to approve the agenda with the changes presented by the county manager.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. That takes us to item G, years of service and new hire recognitions. Manager Schaefer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioners, two important items on the agenda are the recognition of years of service of existing Santa Fe County employees, which we do in 5-year increments, as well as recognition of our new hires during the month of April, which we hope will ultimately be on our years of service list. We have 6 county employees who marked their 5-year anniversary with the county. We thank them for their service. That is Ron Mascarenas in the Public Works Department, Epitapia in the County Manager Risk Management Division, Amanda Portillo in the Finance Division, Joe Apodaca in Building Services in the Public Works Department, Joel Cano in the Sheriff's Department. We have, in addition, in the Corrections Department, Jesus Garcia. We have one individual who marked 10 years with the county, and that is Mr. Kenneth Rodriguez in the Road Maintenance section of the Public Works Department. And we had 2 individuals who have completed 15 years of service with the county. Teresa Atencio in the Bureau of Elections with the County Clerk's Office, and Melissa Martinez in the Finance Division of the County Manager's Office. Turning to our new hires, we had Raymond Salazar join us as an HR Administrator in Human Resources. Eugene Barella joined us as an IT Security Administrator 1 in the IT Division. Leanne Martinez as an Administrative Assistant, also in the IT Division. I think it's Michaela Romero joined the Purchasing Division as a Procurement Specialist Senior. Rebecca Garcia as a cook with our Senior Services and Community Services Department. Casey Gilmore joined our team as a detention officer within the Corrections Division. At RECC, we had an Emergency Communications Specialist trainee, Julie Silva. Project Manager 2 at the Public Works Department, Daniel Anderson, joined the team. And then we had 3 deputy sheriffs, 1 cadet, 1 deputy 1, and deputy 3 joined the team. The sheriff deputy cadet was Albino Gallardo. The Sheriff Deputy 3 was Deputy Cody Latin, and Sheriff Deputy 1 was Royce, I believe it is Nez. So again, we welcome the new team members as well as recognize the continuing years of service for those who have completed 5-year plus anniversaries with the county.
Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Manager Schaefer. Just a couple other individuals. Just welcome Manager Schaefer for being our county manager. Actually, our acting county attorney, as well as our new county, the manager's office, Sarah, as our new county manager's office. And everybody else that is actually, that you mentioned earlier, thank you for working for Santa Fe County. I'm sorry I have a little bit, I had some surgery the other day, but welcome everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Hanson.
I want to recognize the art department who made the new art that shows our welcome to the county. I actually really like seeing Daniel's good work, and so I'm assuming that he did that along maybe with Sarah, so I just wanted to recognize the new format.
Thank you.
Also, Madam Chair,
Commissioner Garcia.
one of the other things I do, I have a couple of hats that I put on, but I actually gave about 800 diplomas this last week, and which is totally awesome to give out a diploma to an individual. It was great. But Brian Snyder, your daughter, your daughter, right? Daughter? And you know what? Congratulations, because that was awesome. Whenever a kid receives a diploma, that's great. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Madam
that-
Chair?
Yes,
Sorry.
Commissioner
I just
Roybal.
want to congratulate everybody with their work anniversaries, and also all the new hires. Welcome to Santa Fe County, and you know, I would ditto those the same words that Commissioner Garcia. I've been in quite a few graduating events, and it's a real honor to be there and to see the excitement of graduation day, and also even listen to the speeches from dignitaries and also our valedictorians, which is really you know, something that's really special to me to listen to, because you know, you hear some really great point of views and speeches from these young adults. So I just wanted to also comment on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And definitely like that we do these recognitions and welcome everybody on board and thank them for their continuing service. So that takes us to item 2, which is approval of the meeting minutes. First, approval of the April 26th Board of County Commissioner meeting minutes. Are there any changes, or? Yes, Commissioner Hanson.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to approve the April 26, 2022 Board of County Commissioner meeting minutes.
Second.
Thank you. So I have a motion and a second
Madam Chair, for discussion?
on the minutes.
Yes. I forgot this. Penny Ellis Green out there, her daughter actually walked up there as well.
Those aren't actually, point of
I
order.
just wanted to wish Penny congratulations.
Yes, but we can do that during matters from commissioners. So for the meeting minutes, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. So, and then we have a request approval of the April 26 Board of County Commissioners Budget Study Special Session Meeting Minutes. And I got that backwards. Commissioner Hanson.
Madam Chair, I would like to request approval of the April 26, 2022 Board of County Commissioner Budget Study Session Special Meeting Minutes.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Once again, for Manager Shaver, this is just for the study session, right? This is not to actually approve the budget.
It's just approving the minutes.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
So there's a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. So there are no, item 3, there are no proclamations or recognitions today. So we're going to item 4, which is the consent agenda.
Madam Chair, if there's no, move for approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Is there, I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions under discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We have no appointments and reappointments, so we move on.
Madam
to
Chair,
Yes.
may I
Oh,
interest
yes.
you in a resolution
You
number?
definitely can. Thank you so much, Deputy Clerk.
All right, it'll be, this is for 4B.
Yes.
This is resolution number 2022-035.
And that's it. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Now we can go to item 6, which are miscellaneous action items. Is that where, did I skip right over something?
Nope, I think you're good.
Consent, good. 6A is a resolution advancing complete streets as a proven countermeasure to advance safer and more equitable transportation improvements in Santa Fe County while reducing impacts of climate change. I believe we have Brett Clavio. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioners, good afternoon. And my name is Brett Clavio. I'm a Senior Transportation Planner, Santa Fe County. The item before you today is a resolution for complete streets. It originated at the Santa Fe Metropolitan Planning Organization. The SFMPO has advanced 3 similar resolutions, one for the Santa Fe MPO planning area, one for the City of Santa Fe, and one for Santa Fe County. The Santa Fe MPO's resolution was passed by the Technical Coordinating Committee in February and by the Policy Board in April. The city's resolution is still under development, but the county's resolution is ready and before you today. In March, the Santa Fe County Transportation Advisory Committee reviewed and recommended approval of this resolution with edits by the BCC. This resolution is aspirational and calls for integrating complete streets as a proven countermeasure to advance safer and more equitable transportation improvements in Santa Fe County while reducing the impacts of climate change. The Transportation Advisory Committee has agreed to review the SLDC road design standards to better integrate these complete street ideas. With that, staff recommends approval of the resolution advancing complete streets as a proven countermeasure to advance safer and more equitable transportation improvements in the Santa Fe County while reducing the impacts of climate change. And with that, I stand for any questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Hanson, and then I'll go to Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, Brett, so much for bringing forward this resolution. Both Commissioner Hughes, who is the chair, and Commissioner Garcia, who sit on the MPO, we completely support. We can have supported this at the MPO. I think it is really important to have this resolution of complete streets, and especially to move forward with it helping to reduce the impacts of climate change, which the county has made as a goal. And so with that, I would like to make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second under discussion.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Garcia, and then I'll come back to you.
thank you for bringing this forward. As we all know, climate change is very important throughout this globe, our mothership here. And whenever you talk about streets, whatever you're in Rancho or you're in La Cienega and you talk about streets, and as into how are you going to deal with streets in La Cienega or county roads in up north or Cerrillos, Edgewood, or whatnot? So when you say streets, what do you mean by streets?
Commissioner Hamilton and members of the board, that's an excellent question. Currently, the SLDC has divided our roadway network into 2 categories, urban and rural. And the urban aspects of the county are confined to the Santa Fe Community College District as well as the Airport District, as well as the Via Vista community. Outside of that area is considered rural. And what does that mean? It means that we don't really provide infrastructure for bikes and peds out there. So what the resolution would task the county and the committee to look at is to try to provide a more equitable allocation of resources. So for example, in a place like La Cienega, currently you might have a 2-lane road with no shoulder. So the bicyclist has to navigate, around the traffic, and what a complete street would do is say, hey, let's just put a shoulder in there, 4 or 5 foot shoulder. And what that does is it allows pedestrians and bicyclists to move freely and without fearing for their life while they're traveling. So some modest improvements can help address complete. Some of the more ambitious things are like what we're doing with the northeast-south. We have bike, multi. We're already doing this with our. It goes to looking backwards. We need to be careful of the context of the community and try to come up with a solution that both advances the complete streets but retains the character of the community. So there's going to be some work that's needed to really revise the design standards as they are today.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I totally agree with you as into different communities throughout the county from Espanola all the way down I-40 and everything in between. That is, we just need to work together with our planning department and with our public works director and everybody else as to what we're going to do. Because I'll tell you right now, in La Cienega, it's going to be hard to put bike lanes unless we're going to budget for it and go buy all the property down Paseo City Baca but so as long as this is a resolution for a study, I'm great with it. But let's just all communicate and figure out what we need to do, because there are different communities in this area that it's going to cost us a lot of money to put a bike lane or Fria or wherever or whatnot. In the Commissioner Hughes' district, whenever we're putting northeast-southeast connector, that's easy because we're already doing that stuff. But whenever you go down county roads in La Cienega or Cerrillos, Madrid, so just as long as we all communicate as a whole in the county, let's figure it out. But thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hughes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And yeah, I think this is a great idea. It definitely sets a good direction for the county. Sort of a follow-up question on what Commissioner Garcia was asking is, are we going to, as a result of this resolution, are we going to see some changes to the SLDC to align our policies more closely with the goals of safe streets?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Hughes, thank you for the question. Yes, absolutely. As it stands, as I mentioned, we have 2 categories, urban and rural. And as you may, the county has roughly 60 different communities within it. And so each of those are different. Some are traditional, some are contemporary, some are planned. Some of the planned communities already have these complete streets. So when they go in and build a subdivision, they put in the sidewalk, they put in the bike lane. But for retrofits, it's a sensitive matter. We got to work with the community. We've tried to do this in Madrid. We looked at implementing side path there in the community. The community is a little resistant to it, so we're not trying to push it. But we do want to work with people who are willing to work with us, because I think most people want to see safe streets for their children and for themselves as they get older. They can bicycle around safely.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Hanson.
Yeah, thank you, both Commissioner Hughes and Commissioner Garcia for those questions. I just wanted to state for the record that in 2007 to 2015, I was on the City of Santa Fe Parks and Open Space Advisory Commission, and this safe streets and safe routes to parks were incredibly important. And so this is, I feel like, an extension of that, which is really important. The city has more urban areas where we have more rural areas. And like you said, when we can work with communities to provide that kind of access for pedestrian and bikes and make it safer for children on the roadways, it's really important. So I wholeheartedly support this, and thank you for working on it and bringing it forward.
Thank you. I actually have a couple of questions. One is, could you say a little bit more about potential fiscal impacts, especially for retrofits as well as for ongoing designs? Like probably everybody who uses the streets in Santa Fe County recognizes, the places that don't have shoulders or don't have bike paths or areas for pedestrians to safely walk. But nevertheless, we always need to consider fiscal impact. And then similarly, can you, at least for the record, explain some of how it's anticipated to impact climate change?
Commissioner Hamilton and Commission, I'll answer the first question, then I'll turn the climate change over to Brett. From a fiscal impact, we don't have exact numbers right now, but what we have committed to do in working with Brett and the planning team and the Transportation Advisory Committee, as well as their subgroups, is to look at the roadway design standards, look at our design standards based on the different SLDC areas, and come up with some of those, and understand that it is going to be cheaper in some areas and more expensive in other areas. The La Cienega area may be an example of where the right-of-way is narrow and acquisition of land may not be practical, or maybe a little bit more costly. So we have to really look into that and vet it. This, as Brett has said, this is an aspirational goal. I think it's a good step in the right direction. But we still need to work out the details, and that's what the next steps are, is to work with Transportation Advisory Committee, growth and planning, to hone in on some of that.
Yeah.
On new roads, I think it's a little bit easier, but we're also looking at this holistically and understanding that we don't build new roads necessarily internally in the county every day. The development community does. What we do is a lot of rehab, and where does it make sense on the rehabilitation projects to do some of this expansion, and maybe in some areas where does it not? But try to get that and bring that back to the commission for a better understanding.
I can't help, that's great, I appreciate it. I can't help but wonder if there aren't occasionally federal grants to do things exactly like this, even for retrofit, once you have this kind of aspirational thing in place.
I think there is, and we would definitely be in search of that. As as the road prices and paving go up, every day it seems. As we expand the width of our shoulders, it's an additional cost. So we will be looking at additional funding sources, working with Brett and his team and other teams within the county to seek that additional funding.
Excellent, thank you.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, I'd just like to add that with respect to climate change, the idea is to be able to have more variety of trips. Right now, most of our trips are by automobile. And why is that? Well, maybe we don't have a sidewalk, or maybe we don't have a bike infrastructure, so we really don't have a choice but to drive. So if we provide a path or a bike lane, that gives you a choice. So it's a small step. It's not going to solve the climate problem, but it is one step towards reaching that goal.
Absolutely, I just wanted to get that brought out for people. I appreciate it. So is there further discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair.
One more.
Just really quick, thank you, staff, for just communicate with each other, all of you. Commissioner Hanson actually has 3 charging stations out there in the back, and 2 at the one in her catch room, because she's thinking ahead us into what we need to buy, and whether it's a school bus or whether it's a county car, charging stations, or riding a bike or whatnot. But yes, we need to start thinking way over there. But thank you.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Roybal?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I definitely will be in support of having this complete road project or complete streets moving forward. I've had a lot of constituents in my district. A lot of our roads don't have shoulders in those areas, and there is some concern even in the La Puebla area, where we did put a full-time fire station, where we modified that fire station to be able to keep full-time staff. So in that area, I have had some concerns, and I know that we're gonna have to get acquisition from property owners to be able to expand the road to have shoulders, because really, if there's any emergency responders, there's not anywhere for them to pull over. So I appreciate this idea and definitely will support it. And I think that, even anything where we can reduce our carbon our carbon footprint by any amount is great, because at some point we have to figure out a way, and every little bit helps so we can get back in to get a carbon balance through, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So if there's no further discussion, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Clavio. So I need a resolution number.
Why, yes, you do.
Trading back and forth.
Madam Chair, that would be resolution number 2022-036.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Madam Clerk.
Of course.
Just now I've got glasses, so I can't read. That takes us to 6B, which is a resolution adopting required community development block grant Cdbg federal certifications and commitments for project number 19C NRI 01G17, which we all know what that is. Max, welcome.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners. My name is Max Hendren. I'm I'm a senior planner, and I have been put responsible for the community development block grant to build a well in Glorietta, New Mexico. In October of 2020, the board accepted a community development block grant in the amount of $750,000, and in February of 2022, the board approved additional Cdbg CV funds for $381,968 for a total CDB allocation of $1,131,968 to construct a new well in Glorietta, New Mexico, in coordination with the Greater Glorietta Mutual Domestic Water Consumers Association. The county and the local government executed the Cdbg agreement in October 22nd of 2020, and the grant will expire October 22nd of 2022. So these funds are going to be used to replace the existing well with a deep water supply well. The project will serve as a long-term source for the village of Glorietta, Glorietta Estates, and Glorietta East. And it's going to address the public health risk posed by elevated radium levels in the existing water source. To be in compliance with the federal requirements necessary for a housing and urban development CDBG grant, this item will present the necessary requirements. Staff calls your attention to the federal requirements plan, which is Exhibit B in your packet, and will request that the board consider the resolution adopting the CDBG federal certifications and commitments. A CDBG federal regulations plan was approved by the board on December 15th of 2020, and the plan consists of the following requirements for the county: a citizen participation, fair housing, residential displacement and relocation assistance, Section 3, and procurement. And if you allow me, I can give you brief information on each of the federal requirements. This resolution will adopt the current federal requirements plan, Exhibit B. So citizen participation plan elements included in the Exhibit B provide citizen participation and encourage public input. It also provides reasonable and timely access to local meetings, information, and records per the Open Meetings Act. The county is required to provide 3 citizen participation meetings for this project. We have already conducted 2 public participation meetings with the application, and we're going to hold another public meeting at the conclusion of the project. The Fair Housing Plan element requires that the county publicize prohibit on-housing discrimination. Prohibit on-housing discrimination. It also provides the programs to ensure equal opportunity in housing. It requires us to post and distribute fair housing flyers and conduct a fair housing event. Our fair housing event was already conducted on April 13th at the Santa Cruz Public Housing Facility. And we are also required to conduct a fair housing self-assessment, which Jordan completed, our Public Housing Authority Executive Director. The other part of the plan is Residential Displacement Relocation Assistance Plan. It means that we require one-to-one replacement of low-income dwelling units lost in connection with the use of any Cdbg funding, the relocation assistance for all low-income individuals displaced as a direct result of assisted activities to minimize displacement. And the relocation plan must be adopted throughout the term of this project, whether or not the county is undertaking relocation activities. This project will not conduct relocation activities. There's also the Section 3 plan, which encourages the use of small local business and the hiring of low-income residents. It prescribes hiring, contracting, and training practices. It includes specific languages for our bid proposals and our contracts. And there are reporting requirements for Section 3, which is the county's workforce analysis form, the EEO-4, provided by Human Services, and it's in our file for local government and for us. Not included in the federal requirements plan, but part of the resolution to adopt the federal requirements is a procurement policy. The county is required to adopt a policy and adhere to a procurement policy that is in compliance with the Federal Procurement Code regulations and the New Mexico Procurement Code. So staff calls your attention to the Federal Requirements Plan, which is Exhibit B, and requests that the board consider approving a resolution adopting the required Cdbg federal certifications and commitments for project number 19C NRI 01G17. With the adoption of this resolution, the county maintains compliance with HUD and Cdbg to construct the community well in the greater Glorietta, New Mexico. Everything is outlined in more detail in your packet, and I stand with my colleagues for questions.
Excellent, thank you. Commissioner Garcia?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for introducing yourself again, because this is the first time that I've met you and seen you in CDBG, Community Development Block Grant. You know what? There's a lot of individuals out there that don't know what that is. And we built La Familia, Senator Nancy Rodriguez Community Center. We've actually built La Familia Medical Center with CDBG grant. We've done, a couple of colleagues with me, we work together, and we've done CDBG. And for you to take on the project for CDBG, it's a lot of auditing, and you don't get federal money, you know, and if you're going to take it on, I'm happy for that. There's an individual up here that actually, when I first met them, and she's sitting here to my right, and she actually started the Glorietta water system back, and she actually did an excellent job, and we got money for that. And just wanted to wish you good luck, but yes, I'll make a motion to approve this. It's just whenever you deal with CDBG money, federal money, there's a lot of auditing. Like you said, you have to go talk to the backhoe operator, you got to talk to the electrician, you got to interview them, you got to do all that stuff that I've done it before. Making sure they're getting federal wage rates, right? Yes. And the only question I have is, you said October of 2022 the grant expires. So what does that mean? Where are we at with that?
Yes, Madam Chair and Commissioner Garcia, we are currently finalizing the plans with the authoritative agencies for the funding. And once we get those finalized plans with the stamp of approval from HDR, our engineer, we will get it through procurement and we will get it out to bid. We hope to have the project fully completed by October 22nd, 2022. That is our goal.
So, Madam Chair, October 22nd, October 22 is really quick. It's going to be here before you know it, right?
Yes.
So, and I see our procurement officer sitting back there. So, so you guys are communicating with him, Mr. Taylor, as into making sure that
Yes.
we're going to get it right. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. Commissioner Hanson?
I will second and discussion.
Under discussion, Commissioner Hanson.
Thank you. Thank you, Max, for all your work on this. And I know you haven't been with the county that long, but great job. Thank you so much. And I think this is an important project. You know, providing clean water for people is incredibly important in Santa Fe County. And as has been mentioned, Commissioner Hamilton has worked on this for quite some time. So we're happy that it is moving forward.
Thank you. So I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? No. One might. Thank you very much, Max. Nobody asked you what you did wrong in a previous lifetime that put you into CDBG in this lifetime, but I won't go there. Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you. I enjoy it.
Excellent. I need a resolution number for this as well.
Happy to provide one, Madam Chair. Resolution number 2022-037.
Excellent. Thanks so much. So that takes us on to 6C, which is request approval to utilize the statewide price agreement with Allied Electric pursuant to Ordinance, as stated, outside contracts for purchasing of the lighting upgrades at the Pewaukee Valley Recreation Complex. Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners. As stated, we're here before the board to ask authorization to utilize the state price agreement pursuant to our Ordinance 2012-5, Section 1, outside contracts requires BCC approval when that amount is more than $250,000. And what this project does, it upgrades the lighting upgrades at the Pewaukee Valley Recreation Complex in the amount of $754,995.45, exclusive of tax. They're replacing 11 poles at the facility, upgrading the lighting, removing the old wood poles. They're having a lot of issues with the lights staying on. We're going to LED, which is going to reduce the utility bill quite significantly. And with that, Madam Chair, I'll stand for any questions.
Excellent.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Roybal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And this project is in my district, and it's a project that I think is going to be really a really great project. It's the lighting that's been there has really been there for a long time. They use high pressure sodium bulbs. If I remember correctly, I think the bulbs are about $500 a piece, and they use quite a bit of energy. So these LED lights will save a tremendous amount of energy, and actually reduce the carbon footprint for the county as well. So I'm glad to see that. I know I asked early on about solar, but I guess that type of lighting isn't really for baseball fields because they can't produce enough light and to keep the kids safe. So I do want to first of all say thank you for this project, because it's something that the LED lights are going to be great for the actual complex. But also I think I wanted to possibly look at and ask staff to look at the possibility, because we do have a big covered area where they have where a bunch of it's about 1,800 square feet where they have a bunch of picnic tables underneath, so it's a really nice area. But I was wondering if we could look at the possibility of putting solar panels on that facility as well in the future. So just something to think about for the future. But I'm really excited to see this project coming forward, and I just want to say that and also make a motion to approve.
Great, I have a motion.
Madam Chair, second for
I have
discussion.
a motion and a second under further discussion. Commissioner Hughes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just wondered, is the contractor going to be required or made aware of the dark skies requirements for lighting? As we found out at the Mexico Community Center, just putting LED lights in doesn't automatically mean it complies with the dark skies ordinance, because that also requires shielding and other things.
Madam Chair and Commissioner, we've had that discussion with the contractor, and the location of this complex in a lower area, the modern covers and enclosures of those lights, I think will meet that requirement. And at least we're going to be monitoring the project to make sure that it achieves that.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair,
Hang on, Commissioner Hanson, did you have your? I guess not. Commissioner Garcia?
thank you, my colleague here, Commissioner, for regarding the dikes, the dark skies. The owner of the New Mexican, Robin Martin, actually has a book out that she actually wrote regarding dark skies. And whenever I worked on that project, or whenever I worked on the Nambe project, it's actually it's regarding all shielded lights, so on and so forth. And I'll give the most LA, the guys from LA Electric, that's what they are, right? I'll give them you see those trucks, and they do a lot of work for the. They do some work, some excellent work out there, and I'll just give them credit for that. But thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion, questions? Not, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Taylor. So that takes us to 6D, which is requesting authorization to publish title and general summary of Ordinance 20222, amending the Sustainable Land Development Code to add a definition of community solar, et cetera, et cetera. And I guess I'm not going to Penny, am I, Paul? Why don't she say?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Paul Olafson with the Community Development Department, and with me is Penny Ellis Green. And we're going to have our whole team doing helping with the presentation today. And I just want to introduce all the team members, of course, myself, Penny Ellis Green, the Growth Management Director, Robert Griego, Nate Crail, Lucy Foma, and Alex Painter from Planning have all helped work on this, as well as Jacqueline Beam and Adeline Murphy, along with Alex Fitzgerald and Chris Heyer in Community Development. So it's been kind of a joint group effort, and it's been great teamwork. And we're going to have Nate and Adeline provide the presentation. Penny's going to talk a little bit to the code and ordinance elements, and then we'll stand for any questions.
Excellent, thank you.
So,
take it away.